What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Parrot Press. It's been a while. We had Christmas, we had New Year, we had things going on. Life got in the way a little bit. So the global series that I was doing kind of come to an end. But I did finish around about 10,000th. I think I got myself like a tier 3 or a tier 2 limited, whatever the prize pool was for that. And it was a bit irrelevant anyway, but I sold it. But I really enjoyed it, and I hope that Sorare put something like that, and they don't just wait for the Euros or the World Cup. Maybe this like a 6-week spell for, I don't know, when they release the Premier League or something like that, which hopefully is coming. But this episode, I just want to bring everybody up to date exactly where I am with my gallery, because there's been a lot that's gone on. There's been I deposited another ETH over the Christmas period as well, so a few Christmas presents for myself. But what I decided to do was, you see here, there's a lot that's gone on since my last video if we cut out the national series, and I'm just going to talk through it here. The first thing that I decided to do was improve my European squad. So the last video I done, I talked about, it's my first European squad, my first European team that I was putting in, and it was okay, but I fell into the same trap that I fell in right at the beginning when I started this journey, and I started with the America team in the MLS. I was buying players that were okay, but it would be kind of one in, I don't know, it could be like 10 game weeks or something like that, that it would do well. And I said that I wanted quality over quantity. So what the first trade that I went ahead and done was traded these guys out and brought in Nopper. And this was this during the World Cup or just after? Yeah, it was just after, if we see that date, just after they got knocked out pretty much. And this is when he was being massively linked with Ajax as well. And I didn't jump on it for that reason, because again, another video I done a good few months ago now, when I was looking for a defender and a goalkeeper stack, a new one. Nopper did appear on that list with another guy that I'll come on to a little bit later. And I think that he's got a great age. He's 28, I think he is. Yeah, 28. This is his new card. Schmidt is a good goalkeeper. Now, for that price as well, for around about points, I don't know what he's going for now, but around about 0.65, I think that Schmidt is still a really good goalkeeper. He has them spikes as well, and just coming back from injury. This guy is a guy that I won and just immediately got out. But again, if you look at his chart, it's actually pretty decent. And then Al Tamari, he's linked, I think I heard today or yesterday that he's linked to leaving there as well. But he was okay from an AA standpoint. You can't really get much better than him in the challenger scene. But I wanted to bring Nopper in, and as I said, if he went to Ajax at the time, he hasn't gone there. Ruli's gone there from Villarreal. But if he did go there at the time, that would have been great. But if he stayed where he is, I mean, he's one of the best goalkeepers in that league in terms of clean sheets, and he plays for an okay team as well. So I'm more than happy about picking up this guy. So that was a swap there, and as you can see, it worked out okay-ish. I mean, maybe about £50 difference. Maybe I overpaid, maybe I didn't, but as of around about 3 or 4 days ago, he was going the best part of an ETH as well, so he's just come down. I think Channy picked him up recently, or this morning or yesterday as well. But the next player I went ahead and picked up is Panstil. And if we take a look at his graph, so I picked him up for 0.55. Now, this is another thing. I wanted to have players that play for very dominant teams. If they don't spike, then I want them to be playing. Let's just take a look at his graph. Look, if we see here, we know that when Genk play, if they play bottom of the team, bottom of the table or something like that, he's going to be there or thereabouts. He's already scored 200 in the last few game weeks. He's got a 95 and an 83 in there, and look, assist, a couple of assists, a penalty one, a goal, and that's when they're playing against the weaker opposition. So I wanted to target players that can really perform well when they play at a really high level, and Genk are top of the table. And if we look at his run, he's got ZW, Eupen, he's got Sarang in there as well. So he's got some really good fixtures in the next 5 or so. So he was in. The next player I picked up was Okumo. Now, I didn't pick him up thinking that I was going to get the goalkeeper that I'm going to talk about in a moment. The reason why I picked this guy up is because I picked up a small, Gears Small, I think his name is, for FC20, and I was comparing these guys next to each other. Now, Small does take some of their set pieces, so it's not a direct comparison when one's a left back, one's a centre back, but they're defender on Sorare, right? And I was looking at the scores, and I managed to pick this guy up for 0.26. And at that time, Small was going for around about 0.545. So I think, well, I could use that 0.2 somewhere else and upgrade the goalkeeper or whatever I was planning on doing. Because when we look at his scores, from an AA standpoint, the guy's a bit of a monster. I mean, he's at a 44, a 49, a 38 in his last game as well. And again, he plays for a very good side who are coming into their own, and I expect them to have a good second half of the season now that we're back. So yeah, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me, but then I couldn't manage to sell Small, and I'm glad that I didn't at the time. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Next guy I actually sold was Jordan Morris. So my initial plan was to keep all the MLS players and then sell them around about the February time, mid-February, when hopefully all of their prices are going to go up. And I think there's a hell of a lot of people that are banking on that as well. So I don't know if we're going to have the rise that's expected, but there's definitely going to be some sort of rise in my opinion. But I sold him because I wanted to generate the ETH. As I said, I deposited another ETH, but I probably needed to deposit another 2 or 3 ETH if I wanted to be where I was. So I had to start selling some players, and this guy got him on the cheap. I mean, 9.5 XP as well. But I'll probably do another video when I'm talking about the MLS, because I have still got MLS players and what my expectations are and predictions are for the next season. But Jordan Morris, yeah, average. Moving on, sold Rika as well, and I was a bit disappointed about this one because I only sold him for 0.1, I think it was. Again, I needed that ETH, but I think this guy is a very, very good player. You can see that he was from Club Brugge, and I think this is his first season for OHL. And he's got some really good scores in here, the kind of mid-70s, high 70s there. I wouldn't mind picking a super rare up of this guy once I get into the super rare divisions, which is my plan before the end of the year. But they've got some good fixtures coming up. Good game week this week, and 338 as well. And you can see the average scores there. But I would recommend this guy if someone's looking for a defender, because he does seem quite solid, and obviously come from a good background as well. Keep it moving. So I picked up Nardi. Now this guy is the Genk goalkeeper, and as I said, the Akumu that I picked up, I weren't planning on buying the Genk goalkeeper, but I was looking for another goalkeeper to get another lineup out. And with Nopper already picked up, and I've obviously already got Andre Blake as well, I was looking for that challenger goalkeeper, so I could chop and change between All-Star and Challenger for the next few weeks or the next 2 months before America comes in, and then I've got that third lineup to decide what I do with it. And as I said, originally I wanted another goalkeeper. I was going to look at the MLS and then plan for February, but this guy really caught my eye. Now, if we take a look, he won the starting spot, so he come from Lorient. I don't know how you say all these clubs' names. My accent ain't great. My accent ain't great. There you go. So if we look at him, he had 2 clean sheets when he was playing in Europe for him. And I was reading a lot of articles about him and people saying that he should be the number 1 over David Ruth. And he won it. He won the number 1 jersey, and he's been playing since then. And the last game he played very, very well. The game before that, obviously decent, but there was a game in between that. I'm sure it was like a cup game, and he made some absolute worldy saves. And at an age of 28, now my goalkeepers, the 3 goalkeepers that I've got, are 31, 28, and 28. I'm super happy with that because, backtrack about a year ago, I think I had Joe Willis and Stephen Fry, who are nearly retiring, to be honest with you. So I'll be keeping this guy around for a long time unless he loses his place. Probably what I'll end up doing is actually handcuffing him. Handcuffing, if people don't know what that means, is basically getting the number 2, keeping him in the gallery. If the number 1 loses the spot, the number 2 comes in, you've already got the player. So I might get David Roof, and he might even get a transfer somewhere else, become a starting goalkeeper. However, I have no ETH at the moment, so I need to win some stuff in order to follow up with those plans. So Paul Nardi was in. Next up, what did I do next? I bought Sven Coombs. So on that train again in the Belgium league for Ghent, and again this guy, it goes against kind of what I was saying, right? I don't want old players in my gallery, but I was running out of ETH. I needed a midfield player, and at 34, he still's got his contract and for another year. They've got some decent fixtures coming up. I'm especially targeting 337, and a video will be coming out on that as well, because pretty much all of my players really tie up to good fixtures there. So I'm hoping for some big things. He didn't play the last game because he fell ill, I think it was. I think it was a sickness, and I do believe he's been training this time. He also missed a game because he was suspended as well. So, yeah. But if you look at his scores, he takes some of their set pieces, and he is capable of scoring very well. Obviously, I don't want these yellow scores down there or these light greens. I'm looking for these dark greens. But every time that he seems to play, he's in amongst it, and especially once he plays against lower opposition as well, he does pretty decent. I mean, look at this 90 here against KVO, and where was another one? There was another one I was looking at. Michelin, that they're not great as well, but yeah, you get my point. I think for what did I pick him up at? 0.135 for his new card, decent XP on it. Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he's a good player, and I see him holding that starting spot at least for the next 5-6 months. Moving on, Jeffrey Hairsmans. Reason why I picked this guy up is not only because he's cheap, but I wanted him for this run of fixtures. So he was playing here and obviously done very poorly and got subbed off. And one of the reasons I picked him up is I looked at this and I was like, he always starts, as you can see here, always starts, and normally plays a decent chunk of the game. And again, when he plays against weaker opposition, this game here, he turns up and he delivers decent scores. And again, with that, if we used to look at this run, and you're hitting 80s and 70s and 96 in there as well, he's capable of spiking, and he's only I don't know what I picked him up for, 0.12, I think it was, 0.12 with decent XP, 3 at the time, but obviously that is decent in terms of leveling, right? So picked him up, and he's in the gallery now. Eventually, probably Coombs, well maybe not Coombs, but Hairmans will act as a backup if I need somebody to come in, because I do need to strengthen my midfielders, but we'll come on to that at the end as well. The next thing was a big one. Big decision from me was to sell Diego Rubio. Now, I chat a lot in Discord. I ask a lot of questions. Sometimes I know the answer to the question, but I want other people to chip in, because I feel as though that it's a good way to just gather information. A lot of the time I'm asking the question because I don't know the answer, or I want people's opinions. And Diego Rubio has been popping off in the MLS Discord. What to do with him? Is he going to go up? Is he going to maintain what he done last year? Now, looking at this, and again, I'll probably talk about this in an MLS video specifically that I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks as we build up to the start of their season. I don't think that Diego Rubio is capable of maintaining these scores. And when I picked him up, it was a bit of a mad trade. I sold 2 super rares who then all of a sudden got injured 2 weeks after I'd done the trade. And I picked Jack Elliott up in the same trade. And if I was to look at that now, I don't want to do it because my computer will probably blow up if I do something like that, as I need a new one. But it's something like a 0.7 difference to what they are on the market now. But for nearly half an ETH, and again, I needed the ETH to populate the teams that I'm going to be running for the next couple of weeks in Europe, to try and get some rewards there for the next 2 months at least, and trying to buy that quality rather than the quantity, even though I've just shown 2 very cheap midfielders. I just don't see him doing this. And Colorado, they've got, I think Bassett is coming back, Jack Price is coming back from injury, and they might be okay. But with Zardes gone, I see him playing as the at top of the pitch, and Diego Rubio kind of done most of his damage around the cam area. He was free to roam around a little bit, but good thing is that he's got most of the set pieces. But I just don't see him getting the AA scores that he was doing before. I mean, a 30 AA there for a forward is absolutely mad. But look where he was playing. He was playing cam. If we scroll down here, we've got another 29, and he was playing centre midfield there. I just didn't see it, and more than likely he's probably going to go up because people are going to be trying to buy into the America leagues when it comes to around about February time. And yeah, he might go up to 0.6, 0.65 because he is, I think, the number one forward, if not the number two after Druisi in the MLS. So yeah, I just don't expect him to do it, and I needed the ETH. So a big decision, but he is out the door. Next guy I picked up, and apologies, this is a long video, but I want to bring you right up to speed as to where I am, is Pavel Bochniewicz. I'll just call him Botch. He is, let's just jump over. So he is the centre-back who plays in front of Nopper. In goal, he's got some good fixtures coming up as well. But again, he is capable of big scores, a 90, a 100 and a 93. He's about to extend his contract, I believe, as well. He's got a great age at 26. If they keep the spine of that team with Nopper, him at the back, with Tom Hay in the middle as well, I think that they're going to have another strong half of the season. And from an AA point of view, he can score big and he can get decisive as well with that assist and that goal there as well. So he's clearly a threat from set pieces. So I picked him up for 0.17. I needed that extra space filled, and I think that he's, as I always like to do, pair a defender with a goalkeeper. I've got the Blake and the Elliott from the MLS. I've got him and Nopper, and I've also got Akumu and Nardi. So next one is I picked up Vita Van Kruij. Picked him up for 0.28, and now if we look at his graph, he spikes. He spikes quite well, a 99 and 100 in there, and I just want people that are capable of hundreds. And I kind of found that out when I know it sounds really obvious, but when I was doing the Global Series and we was playing the Global Cup, I wanted those players that have hit 100 or a high 90 for their country previously. And I've kind of kept the same sort of method here. I don't want somebody who's going to score 65 every week. That would be great, of course it would, but you still need the players that can get you to the high 80s and the 90s to really be pushing those rewards. And this guy can certainly do it. Now, the concerning thing is that if I show you here just his home, hopefully it catch it, there we go. His home form is crazy. Now, his away fixtures, his away form is not so good. Okay, he's got a couple of assists in the last 3 games, but it's not so good. So I will be putting him in the less prioritised lineup. And talking of lineup, so that brings you up to date, by the way, with my gallery and my thinking. Now, I do have some other people in my watch list. I have no ETH at the moment, so I'm trying to generate some. There's a couple of deals that I'm trying to work on, and a couple of players that's going to give me better depth for the players with the players that I've got. That I've picked up in Challenger. But what does this week look like? And I haven't been this excited for a game week in a long, long time. And that is because when I look at this, I feel as though I've got quality everywhere. Nopper, I think he's had 6 clean sheets in 13 or 14 games or whatever it is. You've got Munoz there, who I already previously picked up for a decent price, capable of hundreds. Pairing him and stacking him with Pansil, who I've already spoken about. Hermans, he's got a good fixture run in the next 5 or 6. And he is capable of the 80s. And then I've got Small as captain there, who's certainly capable of hundreds. He's already had 3 or 4 this season, and I've put him as captain because they're playing Emin, which is a really good fixture for FC20, and it's playing tonight as well, so I'm definitely going to be watching that. So that's my all-star team. Then I've got a rare Challenger Europe team as well with the Nardi and the Kumu stack. I've got Botch in there as well. Now, some people might question, why am I not pairing Nopper and Botch? When I look at Munoz and Small, I I just feel as though they're more capable. They're on more dominant teams, and I didn't want to drop either of them out because I am prioritising All Star this week. But they do have Botch does have a good fixture. That's why I put the captain's armband on him. Gent and Genk have difficult-ish fixtures, but as I said, I feel as though Daniel Munoz is more capable of hitting that higher score than Botch is at the moment. And then I've got Sven Kums in there as well. I would have captained him, but he's around about 75% whether he plays. So again, I'm prioritising All Star there. Otherwise, I could have put Coombs in over Hermans, but yeah, that's the reason why he's not captain and he's in the second lineup, so to speak. And then Vito is actually away from home. So as I've said, I don't want to be playing him in a priority lineup if he's not at home. And people might then say, why have you spent 0.28 on somebody who's not decent away? Because he spikes really well at home. And why not? And I was comparing him to like Ricky Van RVW is what I know. Wolfswinkel, I think it is. And the age thing done it for me. You know, it would have been great pairing small with Ricky, but I didn't in the end. I went for the cheaper. I didn't really have the ETH as well. But anyway, those are the lineups that I've got this week. I'm super excited about them. I've got a great feeling about All Star. Fingers crossed for it. Brings you right up to date with my gallery. As I said, in the next few weeks, I am back. I'm going to be doing videos as often as I was before, kind of that once a week thing. Talking about any other deals that I've got going on, but also focusing on my opinion on what's going to go on for America, the MLS, because there are some good things floating around. If you're not in a Discord, by the way, just join the Sorare one and go to all the channels. There's a lot of transfers that are happening at the moment. Got people like Sean Johnson that's potentially on the move. Callens is on the move. Joseph Martinez is on the move. That's just from an MLS standpoint. And then obviously we've got the excitement of the Eredivisie and the Belgium League coming back now as well. So yeah, get involved with the chat. So a little bit of a change, and just let me go over to my gallery and see whether it loads up, just to show you from an ETH standpoint before I end this video. So the roster, yeah, we're up around about 8 ETH now, and if I filter this by rare so that we can cut out some of the random limiteds, I've got 3 really strong goalkeepers there. If I sell, well, 3 ETH worth basically. And some people might be thinking again, and I say some people because this is probably like the devil sitting on my shoulder and telling me this as well. I could probably sell these 3 and then pick up maybe 5 goalkeepers and play more regions. But again, I've gone for quality. I just need to get into handcuffing in case one gets injured. But they're my goalkeepers. My defenders are looking really solid to me as well. I'll talk about Yeimar and Zimmerman and the other guys when I come to do that video. But looking really strong. My midfielders now, I've still got the 3 America boys, Ranuso, Acosta and Zellerayan. Again, my opinion will come on them in the future. And then I've got my 2 Challenger Europe players in here, and I do need to strengthen the midfielders, and there's definitely one player that I'm looking at, or there's 2, but I need to deposit another ETH, and I'm just not going to do that. So hopefully I can get some rewards in the upcoming weeks and get those guys in. And then from a forwards point of view, I've got Pansil, I've got Buanga still in there from the MLS. Creato is his kind of backup, and then Vito in there as well. So yeah, I've got 3 lineups worth. And hopefully I get some rewards in the upcoming weeks, so that by the time that it comes to June, or when the European season ends, I can pick up another goalkeeper, and I should have enough depth to be able to then still play All-Star and America as well. So I've always got at least 2 lineups going out there. That was my thinking around spending more in the European market for the next 2 months than just in the MLS. But if you guys are buying MLS players or America players to then sell in a couple of months, I think that's a good move as well, even though you might have just missed the dip. But I still see them actually rising a little bit. Anyway, this is a long video. So if you're still at this point, Thanks for watching. And if you are still at this point and you've listened to every second of this, then please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Good luck this game week. We finally have club football back, guys. So hopefully you go out there and smash it and get some rewards. And as always, I will see you guys in the future. Take care.